This is why you should never give up early. Not a long time ago in Kuala Lumpur, I met a guy. It's a British guy. He is a student, broke as most of them, which is totally normal. However, he had a very bright mentality of, I hope, a future startup founder. So he was constantly speaking about his startup ideas, that he want to launch this thing, that thing. So many things was on his mind, and he actually tried to do something. He was trying to find a co-founder, looking the internet for new ideas, and also he was even reaching out to investors with his ideas, so they found him and helped him to get from the ground. So we were drinking a coffee, and he told me that in one of his attempts, he reached out to 3 investors, he wrote them letters, and one of them even replied to him. And he's not only replied, they started some sort of correspondence, which eventually ended up in fail, by his words. That investor decided to not pay for his startup. When this guy was talking to me, I felt like emotional response from him. It wasn't something that he talked to me easy. I feel like he was even shy and greatly discouraged by this failure. Like, he put in effort, he tried, he reached out to 3 investors, and one of them replied and denied him. So he has this deep attachment to this process. And when I asked him why didn't he continue to reach out to another investors, he didn't give me like a decent response. But I just felt that this experience of failure dragged him down. So I told him my real story, my personal experience. So when I was a student in medical university from a poor country, Ukraine, the only way for me to climb social ladder was to become a surgeon in another country. And the next logical step from Ukraine is to get to Germany. After that, I had plans to go to America, but the first step was Germany. The problem that in my university, there are no programs made by university that help students to go to Germany. There is like none. I had no examples of people who were able to get there. But for me, it was like only one chance to get a decent salary and to move myself further in life. So I decided to take my own shot and to try to reach out to hospitals directly in Germany and to ask if they can invite me for practice as a student. And pay attention that at that time, it was many years ago, it was not only AI, there were no even decent translators. So I have to find people who helped me to craft an email in a German language, because I didn't even speak German. I didn't speak German, and I already wanted to get to the clinic and work there as a trainee. So I made a simple letter like, "Hello guys, my name is Nick, I'm from Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. Can you please invite me in your country so I can have practice?" So I remember myself when I was selling my first email. My hands were shaking because I was very excited on this process. So I sent the email, and then I started to wait. I wait 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and no one replied to me. So I decided to write to another hospital. I wrote to another hospital, and again, 1 day passed, second, third, and no one replied to me. So it took me probably 2 weeks to send maybe 5 or 6 emails, and I didn't get any response. However, I had no basically choice at this point to stop, and I decided to continue. Maybe after 10 or 20 first emails, I eventually got my first reply. I was really excited because it was the first time that real people replied to me. I feel that it's a huge progress already. I'm not ghosting, I'm not being ghosted by them. So when they opened their email, I saw their rejection. They simply replied that there is no such programs and they will never invite me to their hospital. It was a total failure. So at that point, I had a decision. Either I do like this dude from Kuala Lumpur and simply stop sending emails. I even count it like a small success because I did an attempt. I sent a dozen of emails. Someone even replied with rejection. That means that this road is closed for me. However, I decided to take another shot. So I started to send even more emails. I sent 10 emails, the next 10 emails, the next 10 emails. So when I got to my first 100 emails that I sent, I eventually got a lot 10 replies, and all of them were rejections. After this, I reevaluated my approach and decided to go even harder. So even before this, I was sending only one email to one hospital. Now I decided to bombard each hospital with many emails. And I started to send 10, even more emails just to one hospital. I started to reach out to everyone, to administration, to surgeons, I am surgeon, to surgeons directly, to professors, whatever people, whatever contacts I was able to find in the internet that are connected to this hospital, I was reaching out to them. And eventually, when I sent maybe a couple of hundreds email, one clinic responded me not with denial, but with a request to share more information about me. It was a huge success. They didn't immediately took me, but it was a next step on my progress. I felt very excited. Of course, I started the correspondence with them. However, I did not stop, and I continue sending these emails 10 after 10, 10 after 10, 10 after 10. So eventually, I sent around 600 email, and I got to the point when I have 3 hospitals that was ready to take me and onboard me in their hospital as their trainee. And one of the hospital even provided me with cards for meals in their canteen and the place for living. Because it was a university hospital, very big, they had this common practice from the students from another country. They didn't work with Ukraine, but since I reached out them directly, they kind of have their own processes, and they was ready to onboard me for free, and even with such kind of compensation. So eventually I get to the Germany, to this clinic, and I got the practice that I was looking for. So this is the moral of the story, guys. Don't think that if you put only several attempts in something and you failed, that the door is closed for you. It's simply not working like this. Even if you look at the nature, a lot of species, they make many attempts to simply continue their lineage. Take fishes, for example. They make caviar. They make thousands of small babies, counting that only a small percentage, less than 1%, will survive and to continue their lineage. It's simply how it works. If you want to get something, you have to put many attempts, and you never should be discouraged when you have denials, when you have rejection, when you are ghosted by someone. It's totally normal, and in most cases, it's a only way to move forward. However, I understand that it's hard. It's really hard. First, do some work, not giving the positive feedback from reality, and still make yourself to grind and to continue. My advice for this situation will be just to not attach yourself to each small iteration that you do. If you are growing your socials and you post one reel, don't attach yourself and don't build expectations that you will get a reward or feedback on this reel. Set yourself a distant goal, like send 100 emails. For me, my goal now is to record 100 hours of talking videos on YouTube. And then you just post and ghost. And you just, when you make your own small iteration, just get your brain out of this and focus on other tasks, focus on your life. And this is how it will not burn your dopamine, not burn your energy, if you will just simply wouldn't be so attached and to the expectation that you will get a positive feedback immediately. Of course, it's very healthy to evaluate your approach time from time. Say you sent 10 emails or you made 10 reels. It's good to make a reassessment of how you do it, of your approaches, but it doesn't matter. Of course, you do your assessments, but you still do not attach yourself too deeply to each result, and you move without expectations. And eventually, whatever you do, you will get it. That's it, guys. Never give up too early. Have belief in yourself, and eventually you will get what you want.